Hi, I'm sort of in my scruffy clothes today. I am doing some printing. I wanted to show you my process. Of course, among all the other stuff, getting ready for the road, researching the trip, and all that is, of course, making lots of product. And I've been doing that for days on end. Uh, Here are my screens. I print in plastisol inks, which never actually dry. They have to be heat cured. So I can actually leave the inks sitting in the screens, and that's what I do. Today I am printing my Moon Oak Goddess design. You can see the woman in the tree there. There are lots of great educational videos on screen printing. I may do my own eventually, but there are lots of resources online for that, so I won't go into that specifically right now, the general things. But what I'm doing today is I am printing a racerback dress and American Apparel, because that's all I print on. They make very good quality clothes, and they make it here in California, so it doesn't even leave the state. I can't see shipping a garment from China or Indonesia to print. It just seems like an incredible waste. And, you know, I want to support American jobs, and they make really good quality garments. And if I'm going to do my artwork on a garment, I'm going to make sure it's a really good quality garment, because why spend all your time making this art and then put it on something cheap? So what I'm doing is I've got the racerback dress. This is an offset print. I don't know if you can see the seam right here. And it's going to print over the seam, which has a few little tricks, and I'm going to show you that. I've just learned to do this myself. So I line it up where I want it to go, and I move the screen down on top of the platen. I have my pre-mixed glow-in-the-dark orange ink. I mix my own inks. I mix fluorescent and phosphorescent colors together. So it gives it a sort of unique color thing. I've never seen anybody do it before. You can see right there where I'm smearing the ink right now. That is where the seam is, and you can see it pop up. You'll see it really clearly when I scrape across with my squeegee. So you want to go across, and let's see. Can you see? Right there along the edge of the design is the line, and that will bring some issues to deal with, but I can deal with them. So I usually do about 3 passes. Usually I do it with 2 hands, but because I'm running the camera with the other, you're only going to get to see my one-handed technique. And I make sure that there's good coverage of ink everywhere. What you do is you slide it across one way to sort of fill the screen with the ink, and then you push it in really forcefully. You make that little scrapey sound to wipe it across. Let's see, I'm going to go across a 4th time. I usually only do 3 passes, but I left some ink on the design. And you generally, if you leave ink on the design on the screen, it can leave uneven patches on your print. You don't want that, of course. You want a nice, even print. So I'll clean this up as much as I can. I'm also going to clean off the squeegee here. I usually do this all with 2 hands, but we'll have to make do for the video. All right, now do that last pass. There we go, nice clean pass of the screen. And now we'll lift it up. And there she is. There's the Moon Oak Goddess. Now you'll notice where the seam was, it was lifted up so where the ink didn't lay evenly. It's kind of globby there. And what I do is I just use a rag and I blot it to get the colors a little more even with the rest of the design. You don't have to do this except where you have an odd thing like this with a seam that you're going over. Usually when you're printing a t-shirt or something, you don't print over a seam, so this isn't an issue. But on this particular, on the dresses for me it is, so it requires a little extra work, but I think it's worth it because they're a really beautiful garment when they're done. There we go. Now you can see it's a little more even across the design. And there she is. Let's see, anywhere else I need to blot? Maybe up at the top here you'll see a little heavier lay of ink, and you want it to be even as much as possible for a good quality, you know, design. There we go. So now, one thing I do, you might notice it's already glowing. I have black lights set up above my studio to help the things glow, but mostly it's so I can check my hands, because plastisol ink can be very messy. So you want to make sure there's no ink on your fingers when you grab your designs so you don't leave fingerprints on your designs. I did that early with a lot of my designs. It was very sad. Now we're coming over to my other Platinum. This is my first printing setup. This is an all-in-one printer, but right now all I use it for is the flash heater. So these have to be heat set. Like I said, the ink never dries, so I switch across my flash heater. Eventually, I will, there it is, now it's on. And I start my timer. And that's pretty much the process. Eventually, I'm going to replace the flash heater with a conveyor to show the whole thing. But let me show you one of my favorite things. So we're all done. That's the process. Here's one of my favorite things about leaving my studio at night. I'll close the door so we'll get out to this daylight. And watch what happens when I turn off the lights, because I work in glow-in-the-dark inks. Everything continues to glow in my studio. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and keep with us on the road. If you have any places that you think we should be visiting, stores or anything like that, let me know. And there's the light on my flash heater. All right, talk to you soon.